Hey everybody, so guess what? This week, Andrew is off the hook. He's not on my shit list. But that aside, I've set my sights on somebody else. Now when I take aim at Andrew, it's because he's a blogger. He's an opinionated person that tries to purport things as facts. He does a piss poor job at it. This time though, these are people who claim to be professionals in a legitimate news outlet. I watched a video about the top 5 things annoying in technology on the Today Show. The Today Show. And now they're talking about technology. And they have their correspondent and a technology expert telling you the 5 most annoying things in tech and how to get around all of those. Here's the problem. It is baby. It is whining. It is misinformed. It is uninformed. The advice doesn't help you get over it. Realistically, she tells you to just avoid technology if you can't get through these things. When tech annoys you, put it down. I mean, why on earth would we want to learn how to use things properly? Let's just go back to the fucking Stone Age. I'll tell you what, I want to send you a message. I'll bang 2 sticks together, make a fucking fire, and give you smoke signals. How about that? What do you want to get? I tell you what, lady, you want to talk to me about this? Fire up the old 2 cans in a string routine. Guess what? Technology's here to stay. Rather than telling people about why it sucks and that they should put it down, let's teach somebody actually something useful. Now, I'm pissed off because you are a legitimate agency that doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay? No gimmicks, no puppets, no tricks, nothing special, nothing fancy here. Just me and my rant. Couple of screenshots here and there so you can see what they're talking about. Here are the 5 things that she tells you are the most annoying things in technology that you should just basically ignore when it gets too rough for you. Autocorrect, GPS, Siri, magnetic hotel room keys, and the CAPTCHA images. I'm going to break them down one at a time for you, tell you what she says, how to fix them, then I'm going to tell you how to actually fix them. You ready? Here we go. Number 1 is autocorrect. And the first lady comes on, she says, every time I type XOXO, it autocorrects it to socks. Well, here's a reason why it's going to autocorrect it. XOXO is not a word. It's a universally known symbol for kisses and hugs, but it's not a real word. It's not in the dictionary. What do you think powers autocorrect? Unicorns, rainbows, and your fucking intentions? No. What powers autocorrect is a dictionary. Talk to Webster, talk to Merriam, talk to Oxford. XOXO, not a word. Now, before it changes your XOXO to socks, what's going to happen? A little pop-up comes up above your XOXO, and it's going to say socks. Now, if you hit space or enter or send, you accept that as the word. But here's the exciting part. You don't have to. There's a little X next to the word socks, or whatever word autocorrects it to. And you know what you do? You tap on that X. The autocorrect goes away. You tell the phone, fuck you, I want my XOXO. And what's going to happen? It's going to put it in there as you did it. You do that over and over again, it's going to learn. Phones are smart. They're called smartphones, but they're only as smart as the direction they're given. Computers don't make assumptions. The assumption that you want to say socks is pulling from a database that we call a dictionary. Now, if you say, no, I want to do that, leave it as is, it will. Tell it 2, 3, 4 times, and it's going to realize you're not making a mistake. You intend to do that, and it's going to stop. So you don't like that it autocorrects you when you want to use slang? Teach it. Let it learn from you. Use the technology as it's built. Here's the other thing. Somebody said something, whole wide world, and it changed to whole wife worried. Now, if you're typing quickly and you hit send and you don't pay attention, you might misspell something. It's going to pick the closest possible word. But if you pay attention and you spell it correctly, it won't correct it. It won't correct something that is already correct. So if you're mistyping it, it's going to kick in. Guess what? Type it right. You won't have that problem. Pay attention to what you're doing and help train it, because it is just a device. You're the human, the higher functioning human, at least we like to believe. Train it and you won't have this problem. That's how you actually get over the first thing without putting away the hottest selling technology item ever. The next one, number 2 here, is GPS. And they complain about the way the GPS works. First thing she says is she doesn't repeat herself, the voice on the GPS. She doesn't repeat herself after you missed it and say, by the way, you missed it. It's not a human. But here's what it does do. It tells you when you're approaching it. Turn in half mile. Turn in quarter mile. Turn in 500 yards. Turn the fuck now. So if you're paying attention, it'll tell you when to turn. If you're not paying attention to the road, I can't help you, and neither can GPS. That's the first thing. Talk about it's wrong, gives you wrong routes. Well, are you plugging this thing into your car and leaving it there forever? Because roads change, addresses change, things get added, maps change. And the three big, Magellan, TomTom, and Garmin, they do something. It's called updates. Some you plug into your computer, some you go into your Wi-Fi, some you take a little $10 SD card, you plug into your computer, update the maps, and shove it into the GPS. Point is, the world changes. Why don't you? You don't always have a GPS, now you do. You updated your lifestyle, update the goddamn GPS and you won't have this problem. You want to plug something in and leave it alone forever, I'm sorry that the disconnected GPS doesn't automatically know that world has changed around you. Keep it up to date, just like you do with your computers. Whether you're using Windows or Mac, you've got updates in your OS, updates in your software, you got updates in your apps, on your smartphones, and your tablets. We update everything. You update your clothes, your hair, your style, you update the way you eat, you update everything because the world changes around you. Update your damn GPS and you won't have to worry about these things. Right? Now, there's one last thing that she said is, I go past the turn and now I'm lost. I'm sorry, but I've had GPSs built into cars and ones on the dash and even ones in the smartphone. When you go past it, it automatically, every GPS I've ever seen, and it's been a few, will update your route. So I got to turn here and get off at exit 10 and go 5 miles down the road. Well, I pass exit 10. Automatically, the little blue arrow or red arrow, whatever the hell color yours is, that tells you which way to go, will automatically stop. It'll say recalculating. Tell you now you got to go up to exit 11, make a U-turn, come down, and follow my directions. It updates dynamically because it's not just a map. It is GPS, Global Positioning Satellite. There's 31 of them up there in space that we use for timing and general standards. Then all of the private companies have launched their own as well. We're talking about over 100 between government and private are up there. They know where you're at because you put a GPS in your car. It's tracking your location, which means it knows where you are when you passed it and how to get back to where you wanted to go. So, pay attention, tell the kids to shut their traps for 5 minutes, listen to what she says ahead of time, watch the route recalculate, and you'll get to where you need to go. Hopefully, it's a Best Buy so you can have somebody teach you how to use this. The third thing they complained about as one of the most annoying things in tech is the one feature that's creating the device it's on to be sold more than any other version. It's Siri, that virtual and sometimes sassy assistant that we get on the iPhone 4S. Now, because of Siri, which was the most major update from the iPhone 4 to the iPhone 4S, the 4S is the most popular iPhone since the original one launched in 2007. The 4S, with Siri, most popular iPhone ever because of Siri. But you've got a problem with this. Here's your problem. Your sample person asked it, Siri, are you mad at me? And Siri said, I can't answer that. You know why? Siri's not a person. She doesn't have emotions. She can't answer how she feels about something. She's a voice connected to a database, much like the autocorrect. There's a predefined pool of things. But Siri is good about one thing. She does learn. The more times people ask, how do I find a reputable tech show other than the Today Show because they suck at life, the more times Siri is going to process that information and get better at answering that question. The other person asked, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And Siri says, don't you have anything better to do? She could just say, I don't know. She could just say, I have no answer. But what she does say is a somewhat funny and sassy response to kind of keep it interesting. You can't answer that, not a real question. Now, if you ask Siri that same question several times, you will get a variety of comical answers. She'll tell you 14 cords of wood to be exact, to be silly. Not a real question. Why don't you ask it real questions so we can get real answers on your show? But that won't help you prove your point. Taking a page out of Andrew's playbook. Only say the things that make you look good. Here's what you forgot to include about Siri. Siri is in beta. Apple doesn't release things in beta. Google pretty much only releases things in beta. But Apple doesn't do that. They release Siri in beta because Siri's not finished. Siri's never really finished because she's growing. Based on user interaction, she grows, she gets better, she becomes more permanent and more aware of how to answer things. Ask it, what's the square root of 6,945,303? And she will go to Wolfram Alpha, a big database. Do you see the recurring theme about getting information from databases here? And she'll pull that and give you an answer. Ask it, who's Steve Jobs? She'll come back with a bio about the late, great Steve Jobs. She's got that ability. But ask her ridiculous things without answers and you wonder why the robot doesn't have an answer? It's a beta thing, not completed, grows, learns, based on user interaction. You call it annoying? I bet you Apple's got a different tune. 14 million iPhones per month, 4S's being bought and activated? Not that annoying. Pretty damn good numbers if you ask me. Alright, today's show, we've got a couple more to go on. The magnetic hotel room swipe cards. Long gone are the days of an actual key. They bend, they break, they get lost. You gotta change a lock every time they get lost. It's not gonna work out. We've got the magnetic key cards now. You pop it in, you pull it out, the door unlocks. Look at the screenshot that you see right here, and the first thing you notice is the card's upside down. Why do you think it's gonna work with the magnetic strip up? It's never that way. So what'd you do today, show? You turned it upside down on purpose to show it doesn't work. Well, guess what? You do anything that's supposed to be right side up and turn it upside down, it's not gonna work. Why did you do something that purposely breaks a system to show me that the system's broken? You made it that way. Not a reputable thing to do. But your real complaint is how they get demagnetized. What does the hotel tell you to do? Not put it in your wallet. What does the guy that you interviewed say that he does? He puts it in his wallet. Don't put your computer underwater. Why is my computer fried? I used it in the bathtub. If you do things the manufacturer tells you not to do and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, it's because you're breaking the rules. If you absolutely want to put it in your wallet, the only way you can do it, well, there's two ways. A couple quick little tricks for you. First thing is, put it in a pocket, a slide thing in your wallet that doesn't touch anything else. The other thing is, you have a tissue or tissue paper or a little paper sleeve that the debit cards come in, one of those, slide it in there and then put it in your wallet. Won't add bulk, but it will protect that card. A lot of times they come in those little sleeves. Take the whole thing, put it in your wallet, or just use a different pocket like the hotel tells you to. Follow directions, you won't have any problems. Veer off and deviate from the directions, well, then you're accountable for your actions. You did something you weren't supposed to. Last one coming might be my favorite. The last one of these CAPTCHA images, and I mentioned it in the intro here about how we have those squiggly letters that come up. You log into a website, and it says type the 2 words below, and it's always like something ridiculous, like ceiling and baloney. Something things that don't go together. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they're broken up or squiggly or got a grid behind them. Because the whole point is to make sure that you are a human being. You're not some automated computer logging in on somebody's behalf. You want to make it simple? Get your shit stolen. But security is a primary concern right now. It is paramount for us to protect ourselves. We share so much online, we can't just be free like we used to. And in order to protect ourselves, we've got to make it difficult and complex. You go through an extra step, it saves you from your identity or your money or anything else stolen from you. Go through the hassle. I understand some of them are a little bit difficult to read, but there are a couple of things that you can do here with that. If you look at the screenshot in this one, you'll see a button in the middle that says vision impaired. There are people that can't see or can't see well or simply just can't read these damn things. And they don't all say vision impaired. Some of them have a picture of a speaker. What do speakers do? They provide sound. If you can't read it, click either one of those two buttons. It'll read it to you. Listen to it and type in what it says to you. Sometimes they are really wacky and you can't tell if that's a lowercase L or a capital I. There's just no way to know. I understand that. A lot of these CAPTCHA images try to veer away from those, but they don't always do it. 99 times out of 100, there will be a little button on the side that's got one arrow going this way, one arrow going this way, and it looks like a circle. That circle means refresh. Click it, it'll present you with a new image. Try that. If it's got things that you can read, type it in. If it doesn't, do it again. They're there to protect us. So refresh it, use the image, understand it's a third-party thing that's put in place for your protection and your well-being. There you go. There's your CAPTCHA images. So there's the 5, and what you've learned from me here today, like always, is the people that have the voices to be heard by millions don't often know what they're talking about. I've been in this industry for 17 years. I've seen it all, I've done most of it, I've read everything, and hell, I've written quite a bit about it myself, and now we got these videos. But you always know you can come here for real information. They spent these 5 or 6 minutes on the Today Show this morning, or yesterday morning by the time you see this, complaining about these things and telling you, just put it down. We've lived for all these years without technology and on our own logic and our own way of doing things, and we can get through it. You know what? We also lived without cars and heat and clothes and fire once upon a time. Technology makes lives better. It makes them easier. It allows us to do more. Use them appropriately, and you can do more without having a hard time. Throw your hands in the air like a child, take your ball and go home is not going to help. It's not going to make anything better. It's not going to provide valid, positive, usable feedback to manufacturers. Find out what works. If it doesn't, find out how to make it work for you. But surrendering is not good. What you should surrender is the amount of time you spend listening to the Today Show. They offer no value. This is not the first time I've heard this from them, but this is definitely the worst. For now. I'm sure it'll get worse. Just wait. By tomorrow they probably will have hired Andrew and I'll go jump in front of a bus. Until then, come here for real information. Today's show, I can only pray to God you see this. If not, I'll just be back making you look stupid to my audience over and over again. Talk to you guys soon.